إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله أما بعد فأعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ادع إلى سبيل ربك بالحكمة والموعظة الحسنة وجادلهم بالتي هي أحسن إن ربك هو عالم بمن ضل عن سبيله وهو عالم بالمهتدين. Call to the path of Allah with wisdom and kind words, and discuss with them in the best way. Surely Allah knows best him who strays from his path, and he knows best those who go aright. Sadaqallahul Aliyyul Azim. Before I start, I want to ask you to say special prayers for everyone who may be sick or who may be facing other difficulties, whoever they are and wherever they are. In your prayers, I particularly want to mention our dear sister in Malaysia, who was a member of the Qadiani Jamaat and left them and joined us. And this is the second time that the police have arrested her. And as she was being arrested, she managed to get a message out on her mobile phone to inform us and ask for our prayers. So please, when you pray, remember her, especially because she is going through a very difficult time. I have recited this verse, and I've given this khutbah the title, Violation of the Holy Quran in the Name of Islam. And the reason is this, that 2 weeks ago, or was it last week? Last week, I gave a khutbah about the reasons for Islam prohibiting gambling. And I shared with you the news that the British government had reduced the limit on the amount that can be gambled away in one-armed bandits from £100 to £2, causing the closure of hundreds of such shops, gambling joints. And I thought people will be pleased that Western governments are slowly adapting Islamic values and Islamic rules. So I shared this khutbah with 50,000 people, around 50,000 people, maybe in a few less. And I was very pleased to see, when I looked at my service provider, I was very pleased when I saw there were lots of hits. And I thought, people must be very pleased that the British government is following Islam. So I thought I'd share some of the messages with you. One was, Marzai kutte, go away. Another one was, all Marzais are bastards. Another one was, all Marzais are lanti kutte. There were 1,200 of them. So I just deleted them. There was no point in replying to such messages. But I found it very interesting that a lot of these messages were from people whose Facebook or YouTube account said, Hafiz so-and-so. So he has memorized the Holy Quran by heart. Qari so-and-so. So he specializes in proper recitation of the Holy Quran. Haji so-and-so. So he has been to Makkah to perform the Hajj. And it occurred to me that although it is meritorious that you commit the Holy Quran to memory, what point is there if you do not actually follow its teachings? And something else occurred to me, and that was that sometimes people raise an objection against Hazrat Masih Maud, saying that Hazrat Sahib used harsh language. And I remembered reading in Aina Sadakat by Maulana Dost Muhammad that every day when the mail came, Hazrat Sahib used to get many hundreds of letters every day. He said they would sort out the abusive letters from the serious ones. And he said when Hazrat Sahib died, there was a whole room full of bags of abusive letters that he had been sent. In comparison, it is insignificant that in one place or two places, in line with the command of the Holy Quran, that the aggrieved is entitled to respond in a like manner. Hazrat Sahib too responded. But then, can you everyone please turn their iPads and iPhones off? Can you please turn that off? This is Friday prayers. So, and people were doing it in the name of Islam. They were doing it because they claim they are protecting Islam. Some people said, long live finality of prophethood. And I said, we agree with that. We believe in finality of prophethood. We believe that no prophet will come after the Holy Prophet Muhammad, whether it is an old prophet or whether it is a new prophet. No one will come. Those who are not members of our Jamaat believe that an old prophet, Jesus Christ, is sitting up in heaven, and one day he'll come down. So when Hazrat Isa is on this earth as a prophet, who will be the last prophet to appear on this earth? Hazrat Muhammad Mustafa or Hazrat Isa? But it is very sad. People talk about Islam getting a bad name. And there is no restriction on YouTube and Facebook and these things. Do you think Christians didn't see these messages? Do you think Jews didn't see these messages? Do you think Hindus didn't see these messages? What would they have thought of Muslims who are so intolerant, who are so prejudiced, who hate another group so much that they cannot even be bothered to listen, to see what the material being presented to them is. And I find it very odd, you see, because on YouTube you get videos and it says, look at this, here are quotations from Christians, from Hindus, from Jews, praising the Holy Prophet Muhammad. So why are you giving those quotations? Why are you uploading those messages? Regardless of whether we are Muslims or not. The point was this. What we were saying was this, that Islam bans gambling, and our effort and so on was included in this. The British government has banned gambling. You should have been embarrassed and ashamed. If we are non-Muslims, if we are Kafirs, you should have been embarrassed and ashamed that you didn't do anything. For the sake of argument, if we are non-Muslims, it was a non-Muslim organization that struggled, that joined the campaigns, which eventually forced the British government to reduce the amount that can be put in to these one-armed bandits from £100 to £2 in one session. Why didn't you do it? You claim to be champions of Islam. You can claim to be soldiers of Islam. There are hundreds of thousands of you in this country. Why didn't you raise a petition? We are proud of the fact that we did it. And this is not the first time. This is not the first petition. We have struggled for the change in British law in many different fields. And we have been very successful. And this is why Hazrat Mirza Ghulam Ahmad praised the British. He said, following this verse of the Holy Quran, talk to people nicely, rationally, explain things to them and the reasons and the causes. That when Hazrat Sahib acted in according to this, he was the one who put forward the first bill against hate speech in front of the Viceroy of India. And we have carried on. And we have carried on doing that. In many things, we have succeeded, or the campaign, I don't want it to sound as if we were the only ones. There were thousands of people, hundreds of thousands of people. We joined a campaign, but certainly it had our support. But the question is this: if you're serving Islam, surely the best way to serve Islam is to act on its commandments yourself. You say we are Sunnis and we follow the example of the Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So what example did the Holy Prophet Muhammad set? When he announced his prophethood, what did he say to people? He said, look at my character. Look at how I behaved. Look at how I deal with people. Would such a person make a false claim? I asked the Qaris and the Hafizes and so on who sent messages, calling Ahmadis cursed and pigs and swine and dogs and so on. Are you following the sunnah of the Holy Prophet Muhammad, or are you violating the sunnah of the Holy Prophet Muhammad? I read to them this verse of the Holy Quran. Preach in a nice way. Are you doing that? What's the point of you committing the Holy Quran to memory when you don't act on that? What is the point of you being a Hafiz of the Holy Quran when this is your behavior? And this is the astonishing thing. I caught someone out in a lie. And you know what he said to me? It's perfectly justifiable and correct to lie to support Islam. It's perfectly justifiable, even meritorious, to lie for the cause of Islam. So when people catch you out in those lies, why would they believe that anything that you're saying about Islam is true? And this is happening. On the one hand, these gentlemen say Islam is a religion of peace. And on the other hand, they abduct Christian girls, they abduct Hindu girls, they force them to convert to Islam. Hindus still continue to migrate to India and they claim political asylum there. Now let me ask a question. How many Muslims have migrated to Pakistan and asked for political asylum there? We are always claiming that Muslims are badly treated in India and etc., etc. Maybe, I don't know. But we know there's concrete evidence that Hindus in large numbers. All you have to do is look at the percentage of Hindus when Pakistan was created and look at the percentage of Hindus now. They've either been killed or they've migrated. As a lawyer, I've done cases for political asylum from people from Pakistan of different religions. If a quarter of what they say is true, it is shameful. But more than that, they come here, they tell the story to an officer of the Home Office. If their application is refused, they appeal to the court and they tell that story to the judge. They tell that story to the Home Office lawyer in the judge. And a court full of people is listening to their story about what is happening. Do you think those people who sit in the court and listen to these stories, they go away with a very good impression of Muslims? What sort of impression do you think they form? It's neither here nor there to me. You can send me messages. Oh, on this post there were 1,200 of them. I don't care, I just delete them. What does it matter to me? But it shows your thinking. It shows your caliber. But more than anything else, it shows that you may be a Qari, you may be a Qazi, you may be a Hafiz, but you have no understanding of the teachings of the Holy Quran. Because the Holy Quran teaches inclusiveness. It teaches harmony. It teaches peace. Look at this verse. Call people to Allah wisely, in a pleasant way. So, let's assume, for the sake of argument, that I'm not a Muslim and you are inviting me to embrace Islam. How should you do it? The Holy Quran says, call people to Allah wisely and in a nice way. Have you done that? You're calling me to Islam, you're saying you're defending Islam by violating what the Holy Quran says. The Holy Quran goes so far as to say that if someone is abusing Islam and the Holy Prophet, rather than retaliate and abuse them, you go away, you walk away. You don't abuse that person. You don't abuse his Prophet. You don't abuse whatever he might claim is the God. You just walk away. And the reason is obvious. Because if you don't, the situation will just get worse. And return when they stop speaking in that manner. We are very proud, and it is a place to be proud, that when the Holy Prophet Muhammad walked into Makkah after the conquest of Makkah, he forgave everyone. He said, today everyone is free. I am not going to take revenge on anyone. But that wasn't the only time. That wasn't the only incident. What did the Holy Prophet do after the Battle of Badr? Those who died in the battle, the Quraysh ran away, leaving their dead. Muslims buried them. The Holy Prophet ordered no body, no dead body is to be desecrated and cut up or kicked or touched. What do Muslims do? When someone dies, when there are riots against some community, and this was shown on television, that the dead of that community were spat upon and kicked. And they still claim to be Sunnis. Is this the Holy Prophet's command? Muslims, although tired from the battle, they were ordered to bury the enemy dead. Those who were taken away, if they were poor, they were just spared. Okay, go. Those who were rich were asked to pay compensation. Do you think there weren't any among those people who'd been torturing Muslims, who'd been abusing the Holy Prophet? Do you think that was the case? Or were they the same people who tried to kill the Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and Muslims had to escape from Makkah to Abyssinia to save their lives? And the first opportunity This is why the Quran calls him a mercy. The first opportunity, the Holy Prophet said, if you're poor, it doesn't matter, you've been persecuting us, go. If you're rich, we've suffered a financial loss, pay compensation and go. If you can read and write, teach Muslims to read and write and you can go. He did not injure anyone, he did not hurt anyone. And those prisoners later said that when they were handed over in the custody of Muslims, Ansar and Muhajirin, the Holy Prophet said, you have to treat them better than you treat yourself. It is their evidence that the person in whose keeping they were would go hungry but feed the prisoner. That was what brought people to Islam. Not what we see happening in, I was going to say Islamic country, I would say Muslim majority countries. It is a sad state of affairs that we violate the Holy Quran, and the reason we give is that we are serving Islam. Taliban use exactly the same argument. They are killing Pakistanis or Afghanis. Why? Because they want to establish an Islamic government, they're serving Islam. These arguments are very dangerous. If you're a Muslim, then follow the Holy Quran. I don't care whether you regard me as a Muslim or not. The only thing I care about is whether in Allah's eyes I'm a Muslim. Pakistani Parliament, who declared us kafirs, had been declared kafir themselves by the Maulvis because it was a socialist party that had a majority there. Will Muslims learn? I doubt it. And then what we will have, what we do have, is people like the Muslim Council for Britain producing reports saying that there is Islamophobia in the Western press and Islam is unfairly portrayed in a bad light. Would it be unfairly portraying Islam if I was to send these 1,200 messages calling me filthy names to the British media and say to them, look, this is how Muslims behave? Today is Friday, so let us pray, particularly for Muslims, that God may open their eyes and give them the wisdom to follow the commandments of the Holy Quran. There is no such thing as serving Islam by violating the Holy Quran. Barakallahu lana wa lakum fil Quranil azim wa nafa'ana wa iyyakum bil ayati wa zikril hakim innahu ta'ala jawadun kareemun malikun barrufur rahim. Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah nahmaduhu wa nasta'inuhu wa nastaghfiruhu wa nu'minu bihi wa natawakkalu alayhi wa na'udzu billahi min shururi anfusina wa min sayyiati a'malina man yahdihillahu fala mudilla lahu wa man yudlil fala hadiya lahu. Wa ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wa ashhadu anna Muhammadan abduhu wa rasuluh. Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ala ali Muhammadin kama sallaita ala Ibrahim wa ala ali Ibrahim innaka Hamidum Majid. Allahumma barik ala Muhammadin wa ala ali Muhammadin kama barakta ala Ibrahim wa ala ali Ibrahim innaka Hamidum Majid. Allahumma ansur man nasara deena Muhammadin sallallahu alayhi wa sallam wa jalna minhu. वक्सुल मन खज़ल दीन मुहम्मदिन सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम वला तजअलना मिनहुम इबादल्लाह रहमकुमुल्लाह इन्नल्लाह यामुरु बिल अदलि वल इहसानि व इताइ ज़िल कुर्बा व यनहा अनिल फ़हशाइ वल मुनकरि वल बग़yi यइज़ुकुम लअल्लकुम तज़क्करून उज़्कुरुल्लाह यज़्कुरकुम वदऊहु यस्तजिब लकुम व लज़िक्रुल्लाहि अकबर वल्लाहु यअलमु मा तस्नऊन. There's one thing I forgot to mention in the khutbah, particularly when I mentioned prayer. Sometimes, living in a free society, we forget our center and the members living there who are subjected to this kind of persecution from morning till night. It doesn't matter what it is that you want to do. From opening a bank account to getting admission in a school or a college or a hospital, wherever it is, you're going to be subjected to abuse. And I always marvel at the faith of those people who put up with all this and proudly say that they're still Lahori MDs. And I request you all to say special prayers, just like this sister that I mentioned in Malaysia. I want you to say special prayers for our center and our members, brothers and sisters in Pakistan, that Allah may keep all of them safe and sound and free from harm. आ जाओ फिर आज नमाज तुसी पढ़ाओ. या जी नहीं अल्लाहु अकबर अशहदु अल्ला इलाहा इल्लल्लाह अशहदु अन्ना मुहम्मदर रसूलुल्लाह अल फलाह क़द क़ामतिस सलाह अल्लाहु अकबर ला इलाहा इल्लल्लाह
अल्लाहु अकबर. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Ar-Rahmanir Rahim. Maliki Yawmiddin. Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in. Ihdina as-sirata al-mustaqim. Sirata allazina an'amta alayhim. غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين. قل أعوذ برب الفلق من شر ما خلق ومن شر غاسق إذا وقب ومن شر النفاثات في العقد ومن شر حاسد إذا حسد. الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده. اللهم ربنا الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين. قل أعوذ برب الناس مالك الناس إله الناس من شر الوسواس الخناس الذي يوسوس في صدور الناس من الجنة والناس. الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. الله أكبر. استغفر الله. استغفر ولا يحيطون بشيء من السماوات.
Thank you for joining us for our Friday service. We're closing down now. I just want to remind you that on Sunday morning we have an Urdu lecture at 9 o'clock UK time, 9 to 10. And then next Friday at 9 o'clock we'll have a French broadcast on mixlr.com, and then of course our normal service. I also want to remind you that we have an international convention in the middle of August, 16th, 17th, 18th of August. I hope you will join us here at Darussalam and in H.E. Wells Halls, Woking, for this conference and convention. Until we meet again, I pray that Allah keeps all of you safe and sound and free from harm. Assalamu alaikum, Khuda Hafiz, and goodbye.